Hello, welcome back. You guys have noticed my glitter eye makeup I've been doing, and a lot of you have wanted a tutorial, so I'm going to do that for you today, as well as tell you a couple of crazy 911 stories that I've ran, because you guys are always asking for more of those also. So I'm going to try and do that for you and see if I can talk and do my makeup at the same time. So just bear with me. But full disclosure, this is not a tutorial. I am not a makeup artist. I am not a professional. I have no training. This is just how I do my own makeup, and you guys have really been enjoying that. So, but here is, here's the look we are going for. I will have everything in the description. Some will be affiliate links, some will not. The glitter part specifically, the company that I bought that from, I'm not affiliated with them at all, so I make no commission on that. So just, again, some links will be affiliate, some will not. Anyways. Still loving the dip powder. A few of you have reached out to me and told you that you bought it. If you do your dip powder nails, the first time you do it, it's gonna look like dog shit. It's gonna look terrible. That's okay. If that happens to you and it looks terrible and you're like, oh my gosh, this is not gonna work, I've wasted my money, email me, leave a comment, message me. I will get back with you, especially if you have purchased through my link, because I get a commission on that. And if I have made a commission off of something that you have bought and you are having trouble with it, get in touch with me and let me show you what helped me. I've got some YouTube videos that I watched that I have shared before, but if you don't want to go back and find those, email me, message me, get in touch with me, and let me send you those videos that helped me. And the second time I did them was 100% better. And then by the third and fourth time of doing my nails, they were like wonderful. And I am super happy and so glad that I stuck it out. But it is a little bit of a learning process. So just keep that in mind. If you try to do it yourself and it turns out terrible, get in touch with me. Let me help you. Okay, let's get started with makeup. Okay friends, for this look today, we're gonna switch it up a little bit and we're gonna do the eyes first and then the face, because anytime you're working with glitter, it's gonna get on your face and it's just easier to do it this way. So to start, you are going to put a primer on your eyelids, which I already did. I'm using this e.l.f. Power Grip primer. I will try to have all of this stuff linked where you can find it if you want any of it. Some of it will be affiliate links, some of it won't be, but I will put that information down below. So the meat and potatoes of this look is Scotch tape. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your Scotch tape and find kind of the angle of your eyelid, and you're gonna tape it like that. And it's gonna feel really weird, but this helps give you that sharp, clean line, if you like that look, which I do. Okay. And I'm not even gonna start with my eyebrows. I'm not worried about them right now. We're just gonna start putting on the eye makeup. My palette is all dirty, so please excuse that, but I'm gonna be using the same palette I'm pretty sure that I used in the last video, but it's this Anastasia Beverly Hills in the Rose Metals, no, Norvina palette. And as you can see, mine is well loved there, but the first color I'm gonna go in is this one right here, the color Eccentric. And I'm gonna take a kind of fluffy brush. Always do your dab, and then like in the last video, you want to tap off the excess. And then, okay, so I have hooded eyes. I have this extra skin. My eyes are starting to sag now. So my biggest advice for makeup is find somebody that is about the same age as you, because they're going to have similar conditions, like with their skin and the shape of their eyes and things like that. So to start, again, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna look straight into the mirror, and I'm gonna start just right above my crease right there and just start blending. Once I kind of know where I'm going, then I'll stretch my eyelid out, because it just makes it easier than working over wrinkles. But you just want to get that as your it's kind of a, I guess, a transition color. I don't know. But that's all I'm doing, is just, specifically I want this shape up here just to kind of peek out. The idea is to try to change the look of your eye from slanted this way to a more, like, you know, the girls that have the high arch eyebrows like that. I wish I did, but I don't. So only thing I can do about it is just try to fake it a little bit. Same thing on the other eye. You want to look into the mirror with your eyes open and see where you want that shape. And once you kind of get an idea, then you can stretch your eye out a little bit and go to town. And you want to be patient with it. You don't want to rush it, or it's just not going to look good. Did y'all see that Did y'all see that Katie Britt speech after the State of the Union? Holy crap. That was strange and terrifying. I can't believe people actually thought that she did good. But anyways, okay. So now that we've got that base, I'm gonna take a kind of a fluffy angled brush. This actually came in an Ipsy bag, so I'm just gonna tell you what shape and fluffiness, and then you can find your brush. But again, this palette is well loved, but I'm gonna use this color right here. It's the color Drama. It's a dark purple. And I guess I'm gonna have to buy a new palette because I'm running out. Tap it off. All right, so for this step, this is going to double as an eyeshadow and an eyeliner. So first I'm gonna pack it in right here along that tape line. And then I'm gonna go right here at the top and just start blending it inward. But you want the outer corner to be the darkest, so pack it in there and then just kind of work your way in. And there are no rules here. I could be breaking all the makeup rules. I don't know. This is just how I do my own makeup. You can kind of see after that step how I get this sharp line instead of a, like, ideally you would want a nice rounded effect right there. But I am 39 and things are starting to droop, and so instead of a pretty arch, I get a sad line. But I'm just happy to be here, so I'm not going to complain about it. Same thing on the other side, just start packing it in against that Scotch tape. And then I just kind of turn the brush and just start lightly going inward with it. Looks pretty good. Don't ask me why I'm so into glitter lately, but I like my nails. When I do my nails, I only do glitter. And I've really been liking doing glitter on my eyelids. I've got several compliments actually out in public. I get a lot of compliments from you guys on it when you see it on video, but we went shopping at Sam's the other day and I think I got like 2 or 3 compliments in the store. Next, Next, I am going to take this color right here, Wild Child, this shimmery pink, and just with the bad finger, as my kids used to say, get it on your bad finger and just put it on your lower lid beneath the dark color and kind of go into the corner. Don't worry about getting it under your eye right now because we can clean that up. And do the same thing to the other eye. And honestly, like, you could stop there. I think that is totally fine. And if I'm going somewhere in a hurry or just don't feel like glitter that day, which, let's be honest, I always feel like glitter, but occasionally I will just stop here. Okay, so we're gonna set that palette to the side. So these next products here is from a company called Chaos Makeup. I found them on Instagram like 1,000 years ago and bought this from them, and that was probably 5-6 years ago. So this makeup is way old and I should probably replace it. But this is what they call their mixing medium, and it's just like a tacky base that the glitter sticks to. And this is a pressed glitter in the shade Flamingo. Comes in this little clamshell. So they have so many pretty colors, oh my gosh. And I'm not an affiliate with them. I get no commission whatsoever from anybody purchasing their products, but I will try to have that information down below. So for this part, you can tell I've been using this brush, but for this part, I take a flat, thicker brush, like good for like packing, and I just get a little bitty dab of this mixing medium, and I'm just gonna apply it over the pink. And you really do not need a lot. They also have loose glitter for this, and I have some. I've actually just never used it because when I open the jar, it's a very fine glitter and I just know I'm gonna make a mess, and I just haven't. There's nothing worse. Well, okay, there's a lot of things worse, but it really sucks when you waste a good makeup day. So that's why I have had it for so long and have not used it. So now we're gonna take our glitter powder, we're gonna pack it onto our flat brush, and I'm just going to start patting it on there. Like so. You can go as light or as thick with it as you want to. I'm not somebody that buys, like, you see a lot of influencers are constantly doing tutorials with all kinds of different makeup, and then they get it. I don't do that. I buy what I use, and if I show it here, I actually use it. So just putting that out there. That's why I'm not gonna do a bunch of these kinds of videos, because I'm not gonna go out and buy a bunch of makeup just to make a video with it. If I was a makeup artist, maybe, but I'm absolutely not. Now we're just gonna start packing it onto the other eyelid. And if you get glitter on your face, if it falls off, don't worry about it. That's why we're doing this first, so we can go back and clean it up. I like to go all the way into my inner corner. So yeah, that's what it looks like right now. And we are done with the glitter. Now is where the magic starts to happen. We're going to pull our tape off. And that is always so satisfying. Nice, sharp edges. And it kind of gives the illusion of a winged eyeliner. If you've watched my other makeup video, winged eyeliner on hooded lids is a little bit more of a process, a little bit more difficult in my opinion, but someone with hooded eyes, we don't have all the real estate on our eyes for a bunch of eyeliner, so doing this Scotch tape method kind of gives the illusion of a winged liner without taking up that real estate. In my opinion, that's what I think. Nobody has told me that. I could be totally wrong, but again, this is just how I do my makeup. So the next step is to get your washcloth. I use a microfiber cloth, and my favorite makeup remover of all time is the Garnier Micellar Water. So we're just gonna get a little bit of that onto our cloth and just start cleaning it up under your eyes. Try to get as much of the glitter off as you can. Sometimes the glitter does not want to come off all the way, and that is okay. It is okay if you have a little bit of glitter on your face. It's not a big deal. We don't sweat, we glisten. Anytime you're working with glitter, it doesn't matter how careful you are, it's gonna always go somewhere you don't necessarily want it to go, but I don't worry about it. Next, we are going to start on the face. I have been using this L'Oreal primer. It's green. I have, like, my face is more flushed. I have some red undertones. So this green primer is supposed to help with that. So I've been using this and this L'Oreal Lumi Glotion my daughter turned me on to. And I mix it together as a base, like so, and then I rub it all together, and when it turns the color of like baby vomit, just rub that shit all over your face. Bailey, wake up. Y'all have to look at my, hold on, let me get this on. I have to show you what I did in the shower to get video of Bailey. Hopefully, if you're watching this, he is in the corner or somewhere on this screen around me, because I know that y'all like to watch him too, but he is being boring right now. He's been saying for the past, probably week now, a good week, he's been saying repetitively, it's cold outside. So here's what I did in the shower. I got a tripod with my GoPro on top of it so that I could get you some footage of Bailey. Just so you know, we are not done with the eyes. We are gonna go back and finish the eyes last, but I wanted to do all of that prior to doing my face. Real quick, I'm gonna show you the foundation and concealer that I use, and then we're gonna get into the 911 stories. But in my last video, I was using Estee Lauder Double Wear, which I still like. But I had heard good things about this Maybelline. Yeah, it's a Maybelline Fit Me drugstore foundation, and I actually really like it. And I don't remember how much it is off the top of my head, but it's much cheaper than Estee Lauder. So, and then I've been using L'Oreal Infallible concealer. Mine is in the shade Ivory because I have the complexion of a vampire. If you have any questions about anything that I'm doing, just leave them in the comment section. I'll try to answer it. But I'm going to get into these stories that you guys like so much. One thing about being in EMS that is good and bad is that school cannot possibly prepare you for all of the situations that you are going to encounter. You have to be able to think on your feet, make decisions, think critically, which is sometimes hard for someone like me because I'm a rule follower. If you give me like a recipe or a set of instructions or whatever, I'm going to follow it exactly how it is written. And there are no, like, for example, this first call I'm going to tell you about is a woman that was cubing meat, deer meat. And I don't remember how it happened, but as she was like feeding the meat into the meat cuber, it stuck to her hand in there, and her hand was stuck in the meat cuber. Well, that's what I mean when I talk about like rules. There is no section anywhere in any of the textbooks that I learned by about what to do if someone's hand is stuck in a meat cuber. And this was in a very rural area, so it took us a good probably 20 minutes, which doesn't sound too terribly long, but when it's an emergent thing or your hand is stuck in a meat cuber, I'm sure that is an eternity. But we get there and she's still sitting at the kitchen table and her hand was just stuck in the meat cuber. If you have not seen a meat cuber, I'm going to put a picture right here. I had never seen one before, but when I was looking online, there's a lot of different kinds of meat cubers, and I can't find the one that looked exactly like the one she had, but hers was like this tabletop contraption. And well, maybe they took the cover off before I got there. That may be why I couldn't find one that looked familiar, because when I got there, the blades were exposed with her hand in there. But now that I think about it, I bet there was some kind of cover on it and they had just taken that off before I got there. But anyways, this is what the blades look like. And her hand was in the meat cuber, and like her fingers, the tips of her fingers had already been fed through. So there was no backing out. You could not back her hand out of that, and her fingers, the tips of her fingers that were hanging out, were already starting to swell. And none of the men there, well, let me take that back. When we got there, one of the men, probably the husband, I don't remember, he was like, I can probably take that apart. And I was like, okay, great. And he goes to get his tools and he's trying to take it apart, and it's just not going well. And so finally he was like, oh yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this. And I'm like, crap. Because by that point, I know this is not very flattering at all for you guys, but by that point we had essentially wasted probably another 15-20 minutes, which is not good. But I was thinking if they can get this off, then that's going to save us a ton of time and be better for her. So I made a judgment call and they couldn't do it. My second, I won't say mistake, because in the end it all worked out. What I wish I had done, I wish that I had flown her to a trauma center. I knew that she had to go to UAB, which is the hospital that I was in, but with her life not being in danger, I was hesitant to put her on a helicopter because that can financially devastate people. My own helicopter bill was, I think, close to $50,000. And fortunately, we had that insurance through Air Evac. I forget what they call it, but we had an insurance policy specifically for, my brain is not working today, specifically for like air medical transport. And that's the only reason that we did not have to pay 20, because I think my insurance covered like 30 of it, and then my patient balance was $20,000. And that is the part that the air medical insurance picked up. So if I had not had that, I would have had to pay out of pocket $19,000 or $20,000 just for the helicopter. But of course, this call happened way before my accident. But I was hesitant to put her on a helicopter because I did not want to put that financial strain on her and her family. Looking back, I probably should have, because life, you know, life and limb, your hands, your feet, your fingers are all super important. So like when we talk about burn patients, any burns to the hand, the feet, the genitals, even just a small area, those get treated very, very seriously. So using that logic, I probably should have flown her, because we were in a rural area, and to get her to UAB by ground took probably an hour and a half from where she was. So I did not fly her. I decided to transport her by ground, and they could not obviously get her hand out of the machine, and her fingers were already blue and starting to get cold and swelling. So I piled a bunch of we put her on the stretcher, and then I piled a bunch of blankets on top of her, and we elevated her hand. Look, we just took the contraption with us, and then we tied it all down where it wouldn't move. And then I had her use her other arm to kind of stabilize it, because the back of an ambulance gets super bumpy. And she was a trooper. She was obviously in a lot of pain, but she handled it like a rock star. And I gave her all of the morphine that I carried, which was 20 milligrams, and called UAB on the way with plenty of time. And I said, hey, I told them what I had. I told them that the people on scene were not able to take the contraption apart. And so I told them about 30 minutes before we got there, I said, when we get there, you're gonna need a hand specialist there immediately, as well as someone from maintenance with tools to try to get this thing apart. And like it happens sometimes, whoever answered the phone when I called did not take me very seriously. And that is something that happens. Some nurses, some ER nurses are amazing, and you form relationships with them, and they know, like when you, like I would say, hey, it's Christy. You know, they know when I tell them who I am. Sometimes you don't have to tell them, they just know your voice, but they know either, oh, this person is an idiot and is never like accurate, or this person is really good, we better listen to what she's saying. Well, UAB, none of them knew me at all, just because we didn't transport there a whole lot. Normally, if we sent somebody to UAB, we flew them. But like I said, I was just trying to look out for her financial well-being also. Because, I mean, I'm sure they didn't. This is a very rural area. I'm sure they didn't have that kind of money. I could be wrong. But anyways, I will move on past that. We get to UAB and we walk in, and it's just kind of like nonchalant, you know, and I'm like, I go up to somebody, I'm like, look, I called you guys 30 minutes ago, told you what I had, told you we needed a hand surgeon, and we needed somebody with tools down here now, because at this point her hand has been stuck in this cuber for over 2 hours. And they just kind of was like, yeah, whatever. And I think we stood in the hallway for a couple of minutes before I about lost my mind. And I don't remember if I went ham on somebody or what I did. I don't know. But we got into a room. And a nurse kind of like walked in there and was like, hey guys, and I was like, yeah, oh. And she says, we need a resident now. I'm like, you think? And resident comes in there, takes a look, and is like, holy crap, we need to call a hand surgeon. I was like, you do. You really do. So they call a hand surgeon. By the time I left, maintenance was still not there. But I left her. I don't know all the details of what happened. I did hear from, because everybody in that county that we worked with knows everybody. I did hear that they were able to salvage her hand. I don't know what kind of deficits she has or anything like that, but I know that she has her hand. Hopefully she still has full use of her hand. But yeah, that was kind of a crazy call and a good example of how being in EMS, you have to be able to improvise and make decisions in a constantly changing scenario. And for a rule follower like me, that is not a skill that comes naturally. For someone like Lee is the best in the world at that. That's why I loved working with Lee, because it didn't matter what kind of crazy call we went on, he had it. All I had to do was stay available. But as far as getting the patient, like if they were hanging off a cliff, if they were down a 30-foot embankment laying in a puddle, if they were hanging in a tree, Lee Bullock knows exactly what the fuck to do. And I loved working with him. And so he would handle all of that, and then he would get the patient to me, and then I would, have this patient laying in front of me, and then I went to work, because I do better when I can look and see what's wrong. Then I can start taking action and do what we're taught to do. You cannot learn from a textbook how to manage the chaos that some of these scenes are. And that is where my husband shines bright. And I think there's, every medic is different, but some people are better at that. And some people like me are more of a book person, doing things by the book. But again, there's just no textbook that can list every possible situation that you're gonna find yourself in, especially if you work in rural EMS. Rural EMS is much, much different than urban. My first service I worked for, our transport times were 5 to 10 minutes tops. We were always close to a hospital. So if there was a situation that you found yourself in and you weren't really sure what to do, you could fall back on we're 5 minutes from the hospital. But in rural EMS, you don't have that luxury. You better know what you're doing, because you have plenty of time to either help or hurt that patient, and your actions, what you do, is directly going to improve their chances, or your hesitancy or lack of action is going to directly be detrimental. So rural EMS, in my opinion, is much harder. You need the best medics in rural EMS, because they just have to know what they're doing. So that is that story. I do have one more. I don't think I'm doing a very good job of working while I talk. I'm not always the best multitasker. Okay, so the next story I have for you, again, rural EMS. This call, I believe, was in the same area as the previous call I just told you about, but we got a call for a man that was stuck, and I have the memory of a goldfish, y'all. I don't remember how the call came in, but it was something about a man entrapped in some kind of farming equipment, which is never good. And again, we had probably a 20-minute or so response time, and we get there, and I don't know farming equipment, so maybe one of y'all will know what I'm talking about, but it was some kind of gigantic container with a ladder on the outside that you had to climb up, and inside of it was like an auger. It's a thing that just spins. It's heavy duty machinery, and the thing spins. And I think I remember what him saying was he was in there trying, like there was some kind of malfunction, and he was in there trying to fix it when I guess it turned on, and his leg got wrapped up in the auger. So his leg is broken and mangled, and he's trapped. Well, the kicker of all of this, not only is he up a ladder inside of machinery, trapped, but that thing was slap full of chicken manure. Now, I don't know how many of y'all have smelled chicken manure. Let me know in the comments if you have. But chicken manure in the quantity and concentration that it was in that machine was overwhelming, to say the least. And luckily, my partner that day was a very good medic. He was nimble, and again, like Lee, this is the kind of situations that he was good at. Thank goodness, because if I had been with an EMT basic or a newer medic or something, oh my Lord, I don't know what, because at this point now, you've got the complication of untangling him out of the auger with his mangled leg. You're literally chest deep in chicken shit while doing that. And once you can get him free, now he's got open wounds full of chicken shit, and you got to figure out how to get his ass out of there and down the ladder, because obviously he can't walk. So fortunately, I had the privilege of staying on the ground, and my partner that day, Matt, climbed into there with him and was chest deep in chicken shit. Again, memory of a goldfish, I don't remember how they got him out. I wish I did. I don't know why I can't remember these things. My brain is really good at just like, okay, we don't need that anymore. So it just dumps. It just forgets all of that stuff. That's why I'm not the best storyteller with this stuff, because I just don't remember. So somehow, after some time, they get him free from the auger, and with the help of the volunteer fire department, there were ropes involved and a like a sled contraption, a scoop stretcher, and they roped his ass out of there, and it took quite a while. And then also, fortunately for me, that call was my turn to drive, and it was Matt's turn to ride. So we get these two in the back of the ambulance. They are both covered head to toe in chicken shit, and we transport him to a hospital that was probably 40 minutes away. I have no idea what happened. I could not tell you anything about his outcome. I imagine he had a hell of an infection, which is what I was worried about. But I drove to the hospital with the windows down up front and was still just like, it's kind of like cat pee. There's like it burns. There's like an ammonia to it. It was awful. But that truck smelled like chicken shit for so long. It was so bad. It was so so bad, and it took so long to clean. Ugh. Anyways, those are the stories that I had for you today. So now it's time to finish the eyes. I'm gonna do my brows. This is the same brow thing that I used on the last video. It's Benefit. It's called the Goof Proof Brow Pencil, and I think mine is in the shade gray, but it looks, well, hold on. Let me put the things back on it. But it looks like this. I probably held that upside down, but you know, whatever. I do have some advice on your brows. Something that I learned. I don't remember her name, but there's a woman that I follow on TikTok who is older, and she's a makeup artist. And something that I have learned from her, when you're filling in your brows, what you don't want to do is go all the way to the end, because then it's gonna make your eye sag more. So you kind of want to stop at a high point, and that's gonna bring the eye up a little bit and give the illusion that your eyes are not as droopy as they are. So that's what I have been doing as of late. I hope y'all liked those stories. I will try to think of some more, because these are the kind of stories that we would all love to tell at shift change. You know, that was at shift change every morning. You know, it was war story time for whatever you got into that shift. So I don't know how much you can tell on the video, but I stopped about like right there. I didn't pull all the way down, so it kind of, if I were to fill in this, it's just gonna make my eye look like it's drooping even more. And it's kind of unnatural to do that, because you want to fill in your whole brow. But I do think that this trick works. But yeah, I will try to think of some more stories to tell. I have to be really careful with the stories that I tell though, because you know, some of them are really, really tragic, and there's no way that I could tell them where like even if I change the name, gender, age, all of that, anybody that is in this area that was to see that video, they would know, because they're, you know, they're very distinct calls, and just by the situation, you know, if I was to talk about the two ladies I knew that got hit by an Amtrak train that I ran, killed both of them. Just saying that right there, everybody knows who that is in my area that might see this video. And so I have to be careful about that, because I don't want to bring any hardship on anybody by bringing up some of the calls that were the hardest for me, and that I wouldn't mind talking about, are also calls that, whoops, I forgot my other eye makeup, are also calls that were exponentially harder on the family, and so I wouldn't want to bring any pain to them. Okay, so for the under eye, I'm gonna go in with it's a short, flattish, thickly, oh my god, it's like a short flat, and I'm gonna start again with this color Eccentric right there, and I'm just going to put that across my lower lash line. Bailey has just not been entertaining at all for this video. So sorry about that, but you know, you can't control your animal's behavior, unfortunately. And apparently he thinks it's his time to take a nap. So I'm just gonna use this same brush and go back in again with the dark purple Drama, and just put this on the outer corner down here. So by doing this, it gives the illusion that you have almost done like a winged eyeliner without doing a winged eyeliner. So this would be a good technique for people who find that difficult and who don't want to mess with liquid eyeliner. Like, I get it. This is a good alternative to that. Next is mascara. I mean, at this point, y'all all know how to put on mascara, right? I am using L'Oreal's Lash Paradise. It's got a thick, fluffy brush, and I do not wear fake eyelashes, but I do like thick lashes, so I just pack it on there. But you're gonna start at the base and just jingle. Oh, I forgot my eyeliner, dang it. Ugh, eyeliner. Okay, this is the Benefit Bad Gal. It's a creamy eyeliner. On one end, it's the liner. On the other end, it has this tip to smudge things. What I do not put this on top. I put this in the inner part of my eyelid. So I'm gonna start right here. So this is gonna go along the base of your eyelashes here. Is what they call tight line. Because again, I don't have the real estate on my eyelids. So if I was to do like a liner on top, you wouldn't be able to see as much of the glitter. So there's the difference between the eyes. Then I also do the same thing along the waterline. And then take your mascara, and I go real heavy at the base, and I just kind of wiggle it in there. And then on the bottom, because I've got that on the waterline, I'm not worried about getting smudgy. I like a smudgy look. So I actually intentionally kind of press the wand up against my, like the root of my lower lashes. And there's the difference. Finished eye and no eyeliner or mascara yet. So I'm going to do that real quick and then I will come back. Something else that I do is I take a Q-tip and I dip the end into my jewelry cleaner and I just run it over my earrings to get any makeup off and make them shiny. Because if you have diamonds in your ear, they need to be shiny. All right, I'm gonna go fix my hair, come back, we'll do lips, and that'll be it. I was supposed to get my hair cut the other day, but I had to reschedule it because her kids had a stomach virus and I did not want to risk getting a stomach virus. But I like the way it looks long, but it's too hard for me to fix. On days where I have to blow dry it, it's really, really hard on my neck. So just for the sake of not causing unnecessary pain and hardship, I've got to get it cut, unfortunately. And my hair is getting grayer by the day, and I am so excited. I wish I would wake up tomorrow and my hair would be white. For lips, I cannot remember where I found this, I think on Amazon, but it's called Ink Velvet in the color Nude. And then this is a L'Oreal Color Stay lip liner in the shade Nude also. I do like the way this feels, and I do not like lipstick. I hate wearing lipstick. I only wear it pretty much when I'm doing something on camera. But that is it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Real quick, a couple of the personal updates. I have officially started my book. I have written a prologue, chapter 1, chapter 2, and I'm starting chapter 3. So that's exciting. And then also, Lee's back is not doing so great. We have been in touch with Dr. Godzik, and sometime in the coming months, we're going to have to, well, not we, Lee is going to have back surgery. But we trust Dr. Godzik, and yeah, he's just put it off as long as he can, and he just can't put it off anymore. So we're gonna do that. But again, you know, like we say all the time, we've been through so much that we don't sweat things too much anymore. So, but I think the amount of pain he's in, he's just ready to get that done. So anyways, that's all I can think of at the moment. Hope you enjoyed this. Leave me a comment if you have any questions, and I will see you all very soon.